Hi friends, welcome to my channel, and this is 28th video in Veeam Advanced Training. And in this video we are going to see how we can do the Exchange server physical to virtual migration, which is also known as a P2V migration, which is physical to virtual machine migration. So we are going to do this Exchange server physical to virtual migration by using Veeam backup and replication. And like there is n number of requirement because you need to move the Exchange server from physical to virtual, might be you need to run your Exchange server in highly available cluster environment where the multiple hosts are available to run the Exchange virtual machine, which is going to give you high availability for your Exchange server, and it's not going to have a single fail point for your Exchange server to run on any physical server. So this is a requirement which you may receive in your projects or your job life to do the migration of the physical servers to virtual server. So in this video we are going to focus on Exchange server physical to virtual machine migration by using Veeam backup and replication. So in this screen you can see we have a physical Exchange server, and now we are going to do the P2V migration, and we are going to run the Exchange server on a virtual environment as a virtual machine. So we'll see how we can do this. So here is my current infrastructure, which you can see. And current infrastructure we have 4 virtual machines. Basically all these are physical machine as per like infrastructure, my lab infrastructure. So the first machine is Win2K12 DC01, which is my Active Directory server. Here I can go, this is Active Directory Indiana server. If I go to local server, you can see Win2K12 DC01, which is my Active Directory server, and this is my domain name miptrainfosol.com. so this is Active Directory server. And the second machine which we have Win2K12-Veeam, which is my Veeam backup and replication server. So I go here and you can see this is my Veeam backup and replication Win2K12-Veeam. So I'm going to launch the Veeam backup and replication console on this machine. So going to connect it. So it's loading now. So we are in Veeam backup and replication console. So this is Veeam server, and the next machine which we have a standalone Hyper-V host, which is running Windows Server 2012 R2, and it's having 32 gig of RAM, and it's joined to my domain. So this is a brand new Hyper-V host which I have built to move this Exchange server as a virtual machine on this Hyper-V host. So this is a standalone Hyper-V host. If I go here, you can see the Hyper-V role is installed on this machine, and this is joined in my domain, and this machine having 32 gig of RAM. So this is Exchange a Hyper-V host. And if I go here, you can see I have one drive which is configured to store the VHD files and virtual machines file in D drive. And if I go to tools and Hyper-V manager, you can see I don't have any virtual machine here. And if I go to say Hyper-V settings, you can see the virtual hard drive path and virtual machine path. And also if I go here, let me show you the virtual NIC, which is a vSwitch, and it's connected with the, we have only one NIC in this Hyper-V host, so it's connected with this NIC as external network. So all the virtual machine which is going to use this, they are going to have the external connectivity with my physical network. So this is how our Hyper-V host is configured to run a virtual machine. And the last server which we have is our Win2K12-EX01, which is our on-prem Exchange server 2016 server. So it's having 24 gig of RAM. So if I go here, this is my Exchange server. So you can see local server Win2K12-EX01, and this is IP address and RAM and everything. So I have one drive only in this Exchange server, which is C drive, which having Exchange database also. So this is my Exchange admin center. So I'm going to just log in and verify everything is working fine. So I'm going to log into Exchange admin center here. So this is production Exchange server, and we have few mailbox here, and we are good to go for migration. So this is how our Exchange server is configured. And if I go here, let's log into OVA and verify if mailbox is working fine. So I'm going to log into administrator mailbox and see. So this Exchange server is in production, and we have checked Exchange admin center and mailbox, all are working fine. So this is the current infrastructure which we have right now, and what is the proposed or new infrastructure which we are going to do by using this Exchange server from physical to virtual migration. So the Exchange AD server is going to remain same, the Veeam server is going to remain same, and the Hyper-V host is also going to remain same. The Exchange server is going to converted to virtual machine, and it's going to host on my Exchange Hyper-V standalone server as a virtual machine. So this is the infrastructure which we are going to do in this lab infrastructure by using the P2V. So now let's start physical to virtual migration. To do this, I have installed on my this Exchange server this Veeam agent for Microsoft Windows. So we have installed this in 22nd video. If you want to go back, and you can check how we can install this. And this is the setup for it's around 274 MB. You can go and download this Veeam agent for Microsoft Windows from Veeam website, and you can start it. So I'm going to configure backup now. So click on configure backup, and then I'm going to take the entire computer because I want to move this entire computer from physical to virtual. So I'm going to select entire computer, recommended, click next, and then I'm going to save this entire computer storage on my Veeam backup repository, which is on my Veeam server. So if I go to infrastructure, backup infrastructure, we have backup repository, default backup repository. I'm going to save here. So Veeam backup repository, then click next, and now it's going to ask the Veeam backup server name or IP address. So I'm going to type my name of Veeam server, and then leave the port default, click next, and it's going to take the list the repository. So this is default backup repository. I'm going to take the backup here, and since this is a one-time conversion from physical to virtual, so I'm not going to take care about this restore point and the full synthetic or active backup. So I'm going to leave everything default and click next, and then I'm not going to enable the backup cache. So this is important, you need to enable this application aware processing. In case anything goes wrong with the Exchange server, you can at least recover your application aware Exchange backup. So, and also I'm going to enable file system indexing. So click next, and I'm going to run this now. So I'm going to set the like you can say the schedule. So I'm going to just make it 8 PM every day, and I'm going to click apply. So this is going to create job. So backup job was created successfully, and if I go to my Veeam server and home, I can see my backup job is created with the name backup job for Win2K12 EX01. So this is good, and now this backup job having all the information source, backup mode, entire computer. So the entire computer will be backed up, and then we have a destination to the backup server, and this is the repository and the restore point and the compression level recommended. So everything is there, and we have also enabled the application aware processing is enabled. So this is all the setting which we are going to do, and this is the schedule information. So I'm going to mark run this job when I click finish. So it's automatically going to run the job. So I'm going to click on finish, and now you can see it's initiating the backup in progress. So if I click here, you can see initialization is done, and now it's require backup infrastructure resource has been assigned. So this is going to take some time to get this backup complete. And if I go on backup server, Veeam backup server, you can see the task job is now running, and the session type is Windows agent base, and the job is started. And you can see it's started around 30 MB. So this is good, and now we can go here, and our backup repository and verify the backup is coming. So this is my default backup repository. If I go and see the backup, we have vector info sol underscore win2get under hyphen exchange underscore. So this is going to take the backup job information, and here we have a vbk file, which is Veeam backup full backup file. So I'm going to enable the hidden file and basically the extension I want here. So you can see this is vbk file, so Veeam backup and application full backup file. So this is good, and now it's going to take the backup of full virtual machine, and then we are good to move further. So I'm going to run few incremental backup once this backup is completed. So we will see how we can restore the backup, like convert the physical virtual machine to the physical server to the virtual machine by using the Veeam backup and recovery, and when we have a snapshot also, and the incremental full and incremental restore point also. So I'm going to pause the recording here. I'm going to run few restore backup for incremental. So I'm going to run 4 backup, which going to have a 1 full and 3 incremental. Then I'm going to resume the video from there, and we will start moving this physical server to the virtual machine. So I'm going to pause the recording for now. So now you can see we have 4 backup, and 1 is full and 3 are incremental. So let's verify on Veeam server also. So here you can see from success job last 24 hours we have 4 job for this. 1 is full, you can see from here. 1 is taken around 32 gig and the size was transferred 16 gig, and then we have all in incremental like 150 45 MB, and then we have 127 MB. So this is how. And now if I go here and click on application restore Exchange, Microsoft Exchange mailbox item, you can see we have full 4 backup and 1 is incremental, and then 3 is 1 is full and then 3 is incremental. So this is how we have run the backup. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to shut down this Exchange server, the current Exchange server. I'm going to migrate this restore this backup which we have to as a virtual machine here on my Hyper-V host. So let's wait for Exchange server to get shut down. So now you can see Exchange server is shut down, and now I'm going to click on disk backup, and then I'm going to right click and instant recovery to Hyper-V VM. So I'm going to click on here, and then I have the points. If you want to restore to any other point you can go. So I'm going to use the latest one and click next, and then I'm going to see host is not mapped, so I'm going to map the host. I'm going to map this Win2K12HV01, which is our host. It's going to resolve the default directories. So it's going to resolve the default directory as per settings in Hyper-V. So it's going to detect these settings, these locations. So this is connected, and now if I click next, and then you will see this is going to be hard drive is going to be here, and the configuration is going to be in here. So this is the default path which is taken from Hyper-V settings. This is good. Click next, and then we have a network association. So select the multiple network if you want to apply. So I want to apply vSwitch, so I'm going to select my vSwitch on this Hyper-V host, which is here. We have only one virtual switch here, so this is the vSwitch I have selected here. So this is good. Now our Exchange server is able to communicate to the physical network by using this virtual switch. So click next, and now if you want to rename this machine or prefix anything, you can do it. So I'm going to not change this, and you have a system UID also, so I'm going to leave the default and then click next. And then reason, I'm going to type Exchange server P2V, and I'm going to click next, and it's going to give the information: original VM name, new VM name, and the restore point, and the target host, and target folder. I'm going to mark this power on the target VM after restoring. So let's click on finish. So it's automatically going to power on the virtual machine after restore. So you can see the virtual machine is created instantly here, and you can see the settings. So it's going to take some time to modify the OS setting and all. There I'm going to map the hard drive and everything. So you can see modifying OS guest setting. So it's going to modify the settings of these virtual machines. So now if I go here, you can see the disk RAM size is changed, processor is changed, hard drive is changed, and network is also attached. So this is good sign. So and also you can see we have here, if I go here, creating VM snapshot, it's going to now it's starting the virtual machine. You can see here, so where the virtual machine has been started, and we have some instant VM recovery snapshot which is here. So what I need to do here, you can see waiting for user action, when ready start migration of VM data to production storage. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to close this, and then an instant recovery we have here, the status is mounting. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to migrate to production. So it's going to migrate these drives to the production storage, which is our this location. So it's going to start the migration, and also once the migration is completed, the data, once the data is going to be restored, it's going to delete all these snapshot which was created by instant VM recovery snapshot. So also you can go here and you can connect the VM console from here. So I'm going to type the name here, getting VM name. So you can see the console is also, you can also connect the VM console from here, from the this server itself, Veeam server, and now you can see it's running the instant recovery. And if I go here, you can see the disk restore is started, and now it's transferring the disk to this location on the D drive HV data virtual hard disk of this Hyper-V host which we have selected. So this is good sign, and once this is restored, it's going to delete all these snapshots, hard drive which is AVHDX file which was created for this VM recovery point. So it's going to take some time to get this machine hard drive restored and virtual machine up and running. So the first time it's going to take some time because it's going to convert the physical machine to virtual machine, and it's going to inject all the virtual machine driver to this machine, to this Hyper-V virtual machine, which is required for the Hyper-V virtual machine, because before it was running on a physical server. So it's going to take some time. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to pause the recording for now, and once the VM recovery is done and this is finished, I'm going to resume from there, and we'll see how we can do the further task on this related to this physical to virtual migration, and how we can verify the Exchange server is up and running without any issue. So I'm going to pause the recording for now. So now you can see the machine instant recovery is succeeded and the machine is restored completed successfully. And now we can go and close this, and we can see the status also. Now if I go to Hyper-V server, you can see the Exchange server is running, and we are on Ctrl+Del button. So let's verify the snapshot has been also deleted. So now we have only one disk here, which is for this Exchange server. If I go here, you can see the disk here which is mapped here, and the snapshot, all the snapshot checkpoint has been deleted. So this is good. And so after migration, we need to do some fine-tuning to the Exchange server, and we need to verify the IP address and all things. So the first thing, we need to uninstall the unnecessary softwares. So you can see the NIC is not showing, however the NIC is mapped to this virtual machine, because the some driver is not going to detect for this machine. So we need to restart this server once. So I'm going to do in control panel, and then I'm going to open add remove programs, and then what I'm going to remove here, I'm going to remove this uh, VMware tool. And also if I go to server, you can say the Exchange services are not running currently. So most of the Exchange server is not running because we don't have any network connectivity. So this is, once the NIC is enabled, we have a proper IP address configured, it's going to start, all the services going to start by itself. So I'm going to open the computer management and show you the device manager status currently what we have. So if I click on device manager, you can see there are multiple devices got unknown, and also you can see we don't have NIC enabled here. So because this is required a reboot, so I'm going to uninstall this VM tool and then Veeam agent for Microsoft Windows, and then we are going to reboot the server and verify the NIC and IP address on this machine. So VMware tool has been uninstalled, and also I'm going to install Veeam agent for Microsoft Windows. So it's maybe require reboot, so I'm going to reboot this machine once, and then I'm going to reinstall this application once again. So now machine is rebooting. So now we are good to log in, and also I can see the NIC is enabled and connected to internet. So we need to see if we got the correct IP address or not. So after reboot, it's going to install the NIC driver, which is going to allow to connect this virtual machine to the physical network. So I'm going to open the command prompt, ipconfig, so you can see it's taken the correct IP address which was configured before. So let's verify the IP address again. So this might going to enable IPv6, so we need to disable the IPv6 on this NIC if you don't want to IPv6 configure on this network adapter. So now we can verify the IP address here. So it's connected with domain. So let's click on properties. Then you can see IPv6 is enabled, so I'm going to disable the IPv6, and rest you can see the DNS and all IP configuration is correct. So I can go ahead and click OK, yes, close this. So we have disabled the IPv6, and now I'm going to uninstall this tool which we have installed, Veeam backup for agent. So I'm going on my tools, then program and features. So I'm going to select both these tools and uninstall. So now you can see this tool is getting uninstalled, Veeam tools, and once this is uninstalled, we are going to uninstall this Veeam agent for Microsoft Windows also. So I'm going to wait for this uninstallation gets completed. So now computer is asking for restart. I'm not going to restart for now. Let's uninstall this tool also. So here we have uninstalled both. I'm going to refresh, and now you can see the both Veeam agent for Microsoft Windows and Veeam tool has been uninstalled, and now we are good. And let's see what the service is in stop mode. So we can run all these services which are in stop mode, and then we can see. So all the services are started now. And now we are going to test the Exchange admin console. So let's log into Exchange admin console and verify. We are able to log into admin console. So log into admin console. You can see on dashboard also all the services started and everything is green. So ideally all the Exchange services is running fine, and we should be able to log into the Exchange admin console. So here you can see we are able to log into Exchange admin console. So we have all the users, and now I'm going to log into my user mailbox by using the administrator account and see how is the mailbox is looking. So to confirm everything is good and users are able to open their mailboxes. So I'm going to open. So I'm going to type the password for administrator. Now opening mailbox. So we are able to log into Exchange admin console and our mailbox also. So this is completed, and we have successfully migrated our Exchange server from physical to virtual machine on running on a Hyper-V host by using the Veeam backup and replication. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe me for more videos. And if you have any query, any question related to this, you can always post me and my given mail IDs. Thank you once again. Bye bye.